Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Business News Update tonight on the Diamond News Desk at 8. Here are the top stories. BOZ stands firm on Kwacha-only legal tender and Planet Gold champions safe mining practices. These are the stories I have for you today on Business News. But later on, we'll be able to take a look at the money markets and also some commodity prices. Here are the details of the business news stories today. The Bank of Zambia, BOZ Governor Dr. Denny Kalialia has hinted that Zambia will move as planned to reinforce the use of the Zambian kwacha as a sole legal tender for domestic transactions despite concerns raised by stakeholders. Speaking at the Currency Regulation Stakeholders meeting in Lusaka, Dr. Kalialia says the move is not intended for currency control but to support the effective implementation of monetary and exchange rate policies, safeguards the economy against external shocks and promotes overall financial stability meant to control the currency. Now, he says that he has disputed, allegations that making the kwacha the legal tender will chase investors, saying Zambia is not the only liberalized country to introduce a local currency as a legal tender, but that other countries have equally done so and their economies are reforming well.
We issued in June 2024. Currently, the bank is also focused on introducing non-deliverable forwards in the foreign exchange market, aimed at broadening the range of hedging tools available and enabling market participants to manage exchange rate risks more effectively. The initiatives highlighted above are aimed at fostering a strong and efficient domestic foreign exchange market that enhances the efficacy of monetary policy. In particular, the currency directives under discussion, which flow out of the Bank of Zambia Act number 2022, are designed to reinforce the kwacha and ngwe as the sole legal tender for all domestic transactions across the Republic of Zambia. The use of the kwacha in domestic transactions is vital, as previously articulated. It supports the effective implementation of monetary and exchange rate policies, safeguards the economy against external shocks, and it promotes overall financial stability.
Somewhere, we didn't just talk about existing contract. I think there's a reference within the directives where I talk about contracts generally. That if we have contracts which are there, which are existing, it's just that we put perhaps in a different section, which are already existing, and they are agreeing. Those contracts can be the way they are, but settlement of transactions has to be done with a conversion, converting them into local currency.
You are better using the market rate. So there are so many banks, and each one of those banks do display. I mean, all the banks do display. They've got board rates. They do share with all of you, I believe, their buying and selling rates at any of those moments in time. Those are the exchange rates that you can use. In the event you don't agree, then you might want to default to Bank of Zambia mid-rate for 9.30. That is really for parties that appear to be quarreling over what exchange rate to use if they need to make changes to their contracts. So again, the takeaway from this is that your contracts don't need to go under drastic changes.
Well, still in business news update, Planet Gold Zambia says it does not just want to advocate that miners move away from the use of mercury, but also instead empower miners with tools that they need to move away from the use of mercury to extract gold. Project manager Abigail Mwailenge says the project is almost ending its 10 feasibility studies, adding that it will next year set up mercury-free processing sites that will serve as capacity-building knowledge areas. Meanwhile, Artisanal Gold Council Executive Director Roger Tiso has noted that the Planet Gold program operates globally to help miners formalize their operations, access financing, and integrate into formal supply chains.
Zambia has in recent years witnessed a surge in gold mining activities across several districts, including Mumbwa, Mufumbwe, Rufunsa, and Mpika. While the rush for gold has created new economic opportunities, it has also brought serious environmental and safety concerns. To address these challenges, the Zambia Environmental Management Agency, the Artisanal Gold Council, and other cooperating partners have launched the Planet Gold Zambia project, a 5-year initiative running from 2024 to 2029. Funded by the Global Environment Facility and implemented by the UN Environment Programme, the project aims to transform artisanal and small-scale gold mining into a clean, safe and sustainable sector. Planet Gold project manager Abigail Mwailenge says through Planet Gold, Zambia targets to eliminate 1.14 metric tons of mercury, formalize small-scale mining operations, and introduce mercury-free processing technologies such as gravity separation and flotation.
We do not want to talk about miners moving away from mercury usage. We want to empower them with the tools that they need to actually move away. Hence, we conducted 10 geological feasibility studies that we are currently concluding. From those feasibility studies, we'll be settling on sites where next year we'll be moving on to setting up mercury-free processing sites that will not just serve as sites to produce gold, but will also be capacity-building knowledge areas where different miners across the country can come to the sites and learn how to produce gold without the use of mercury. At our exhibition booth, we have displayed a 3D model, which is an example of how miners can process gold. So usually we're asked.
And Artisanal Gold Council Executive Director Roger Tissot now gives an overview of the project.
In addition to that, to develop a more environmentally sound practices and more sustainable ways to work in the gold sector. So that requires a holistic approach. So it's not only about developing technologies that allows them to reduce or eliminate the use of mercury, but also to increase their productivity, also to have access to formal supply chains, to have access to formal sources of capital, and obviously to have access to formal titles and mineral rights, so they can declare their gains and pay taxes and benefit from what we call formalization. So that's our overall objective in all the projects that we do through the Planet Gold program or other programs with other donors.
As Zambia continues to balance mineral exploitation with sustainability, the Planet Gold project could mark a turning point for safer and more responsible gold mining across the country. Rachel Mumba for Diamond News.
Well, those are the business news stories I had for you today, but let's now take a look at the money markets. Well, for the money markets, here's how the kwacha performed on the international market, and this is in comparison with the United States dollar. As of end of business day today, the United States dollar was buying at 23 kwacha 57 ngwe, and it was selling at 23 kwacha 93 ngwe. Those are the average commercial rates of today, and this is in comparison of the both currencies. We now move to the construction commodities, that is. Well, for the construction commodities, we have two items, and first up on the list is the reflective safety barricade, and this is an 8 by 24 inches type 2 egg sheeting traffic construction. It is going at 1,635 kwacha 9 ngwe. This is how much you might need to spend to get that particular barricade. But we have another items when it comes to construction commodities, which are the 5-pocket yellow high visibility class 2 zipper safety vest, and it's going at 285 kwacha 714 ngwe. This is the price of this particular vest. We now move to the food and the non-food items. Well, we start off with the food items, and first up on the list is beef. If you are to purchase 1 kg of beef, you might have to spend 114 kwacha. For 2 kg of sugar, it's in between 64 and 70 kwacha. For 1 kg, it's in between 35 and 37 kwacha. When it comes to flour, 2.5 kg is going for 80 kwacha, and for Nakonde rice, 5 kg is in between 140 and 180 kwacha. For cooking oil, 2.5 liters is in between 167 and 165, I beg your pardon, and 180 kwacha. When it comes to Millie Meal breakfast, 10 kg, 106 and 139 in between that range, whereas for roller Millie Meal, at 10 kg is costing between 90 and 100 kwacha. Other non-food items, and first up on the list is toilet paper. If you were to purchase 10 rolls, you will need to spend 70 kwacha. 175 grams of toothpaste is between 27 and 35 kwacha. For a bar of multi-purpose soap, you might need to spend between 35 and 45 kwacha. When it comes to 500 grams of washing powder, you might need to spend 42 kwacha. And for bathing soap, a bar is costing between 14 and 40 kwacha. For 750 mils liquid hand wash, you might need to spend 35 kwacha for you to purchase that particular liquid hand wash. Those are your commodity prices, the money markets, and the business news stories we had for you today. Thank you for watching. After this, we'll continue with the Diamond News Desk at 8.